We're going to open the Rules and Legislative Committee. All the members are present, and John Turner, would you? Yes, first.
Almighty God, we ask that you would be with this time of discussion and debate and decision, that the decisions that would be made would be in the best interest of the people of this county. We thank you for all of those who work to serve this county. And Lord, we ask that your safety and the thunderstorm that is coming, that you would bring your protection to all of those who are at the fairgrounds or otherwise in harm's way. All these things we ask in your holy and almighty name. Amen.
Amen.
The first item on the agenda is approval of the June 20th.
So moved.
2023 Rules and Legislative Committee minutes.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Next item is consideration of placing the July 11th, 2023 Commission minutes on the August 8th, 2023 Commission agenda.
Move to place those on the agenda without a recommendation.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Next item is consideration of placing notary applicants on the August 8th, 2023 County Commission agenda as requested by County Clerk Donna Thomas.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. The Veterans Report is included. There were 60 that were transported in June to the VA hospitals, and there were 65 veterans that came by the office in June. I think Mike's just, okay, you have anything to add to that?
No, we just, the month before was a bumper crop, that's all. We had a lot going the month before. Saw that we had that 91 on there.
And Mike, I noticed a lot of stuff going on at the VFW here lately. Y'all having more events down there?
Yes, sir.
I've just noticed there's a lot of cars and activity and things going on. It's really good.
Try to have as many as possible. We've made All-American 2 years in a row now.
Y'all did a really good job of keeping that place clean too, grass mowed, it looks nice.
That's our auxiliary there. They're the best in the state.
I agree.
Any other questions? Motion to approve.
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the next item is for information only, the Chevrolet Clinic, the medical report, they saw 114 patients, and that's about what they usually see. The dental was about 28 in the dental clinics, and it's just for our own information. We know that the doctors do a great job. We're lucky to have that, and as Commissioner Benson said, I think they're going to expand the dental part of it where they can take care of more patients. Anybody got any questions? Okay, we'll go to the next one is the Ag Center. I think Commissioner Anderson said they did meet, I think the 10th of
We did.
July. He brings us up to date on.
Our big thing is we had to get a hell of a truck out there, and that was, as you all know, buying a vehicle is not the easiest thing when they see the word Bedford County on there. So we were fortunate to do really well, and this should be good maybe for the next 20 years, because it's a good truck. So that was the big deal for us. We had a special call meeting and got that done. The other thing, and I know this will be under announcements, but we do encourage everybody to go out to Bedford County Fair. It's going at the Ag Center, and we wish everybody could go out and attend.
It just started last night.
Started last night, correct?
Okay, any other questions concerning the Ag Center? The county fair is going on now.
Yes.
So if you get a chance, try to attend. Okay, under old business, there's a resolution to amend the zoning resolution of Bedford County, Tennessee. It's been on the agenda since last year. I guess we just.
Roll it.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Sure.
Yes, that'd be great.
Yeah, I was
What?
thinking, in the last meeting, planning commission meeting, the planning commission voted to, lift the moratorium, not to lift it, but to recommend it right after that meeting, but they will automatically expire based on the document and how it was drafted. Automatically expire on July 31st, which would be a week or so before you guys meet at the commission. So, Suzanne and I thought about that I would just make an announcement tonight to let you know that the planning commission recommended it, and that rather than bog down the commission agenda or tonight's agenda, that we would just make the announcement tonight so you guys would know that it would automatically expire on July 31st.
Chris, can I ask you a question? When we talk about retention ponds, and this is more in the city of Shelbyville, but it's a county question I have for you. But I've noticed on some of these developments, I see what's supposed to be a retention pond, one of them's right down from my house, above the Golden Gallon where these apartments are. It looks like a big drainage ditch to me. It's not retaining any water. And I've been looking all over town, not the county, but a retention pond should retain water, shouldn't it? Like hold it after a rain, not just make the flooding actually worse.
They're wanting you to come to the mic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my question, Chris, is in the county, what is our rule on a retention pond?
Okay, so essentially, probably 99% of drainage features that involve a pond are detention ponds, not retention ponds. And so the difference is, as you mentioned, a retention pond would retain water. It would be designed to hold a certain amount of water all the time, and then but be capable of holding additional stormwaters in a rain event, a large rain event, and then release those the extra amount of water as slowly into the system, into the drainage system at an engineered rate, which would be no greater than what it would naturally have done. And all that requires a lot of engineering to do. But essentially, retention ponds are going to be, you'll see those in areas where, that development over behind the horse show grounds that has a pond in it. It keeps water in all the time. That's a retention pond.
Okay.
We don't have any in the county that I'm aware of. They're detention ponds. And so really they're designed to stay dry all the time. They don't really hold water unless there is a big rain event. And then they just hold it and they begin releasing it immediately at that engineered rate. So what they'll do drainage calculations, the engineers will. Beforehand, they'll determine how much water can leave the site.
But I have noticed more than just one in the city where I'm looking at it going, we get an inch of rain. If you'll notice how these streets are flooding the way we do, just an inch and a half of rain, Depot Street will get to where you can't go down anymore.
Right.
So we've got a water flow problem here that's not, when it rains, what if we got a 6-inch rain, where would we be?
Right. So pretty much anywhere that you would have a development that would propose a detention pond would be a benefit to the area, because they're essentially we don't have anything controlling the water out in these rural areas right now.
But a place like Walmart or somewhere that has to put one in, what would it be considered?
Motion. We got off on talking to.
Yeah, we did.
Roll it to the.
Roll.
Okay, and
Roll,
there's a second. Have we voted on it?
No, we didn't vote on
Okay,
it.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. That's why I was asking. We had some comment and I couldn't remember. Okay, the next item is guidelines for open meetings. We have a copy of a Gmail on our desk, and it's from Melissa Kelton. She's with CTAST, and she's our person that we contact if we have any questions. There were 7 the comments here. She commented that the lottery idea is good. Make sure you have some type of ADA on how people can submit. The 3 and 3 structure is good. It'll take a little more effort to manage. 4 was a lottery idea is good too. 5, you might consider having the people who show up at the meeting for public comment check in. 6, again, the law does not state that everyone is entitled to speak. And 7, as far as the committee meetings, you're correct that they're typically more relaxed. And it's, of course, all the meetings are determined by the chairperson. Okay, Commissioner Sanders?
So this email was in response to me making a phone call to Josh Carney and to the mayor after our last meeting. I just went home and slept on it and woke up and had this idea. And it's just something I'm throwing out there. It's something that I've talked to Josh about. He says it can happen. And it's just something to throw out there for y'all to think about. He said that we could actually put our agenda on the website, like before the meeting, 10 days before, just like they give it to us. And then there could be 2 different buttons. There could be one for commenting, where the commenting could go into, and he could actually, he can explain this better than I can, export it into a spreadsheet that we could get right before the meeting, so everybody would know the comments and what district the people are in, et cetera. Or that there could be one just if they want to speak, and they could fill out the form. So it would be two options. So that would be a way that everybody would have a voice if you wanted, if the majority wants to do that. And then the other is just where it could be, and Josh, you might can explain that better than I can.
Okay, yeah, I'll repeat what she just said so that the people online can, that's okay. So basically, she had called me and said that in case we needed the public to be able to comment on specific issues at meetings, were there any options for us to be able to provide something for the public? There are options. We could have an online form where the public could basically come and fill out the form. Based on whatever the issues are, we could offer a form that they could access on their mobile device or their computer at home, and they could fill that out. We could export that to a spreadsheet, and all the commissioners could get a copy of whatever the form says. If we want to go that direction, there is an option. So we would provide an online form so that the public could weigh in on whatever issues we had.
Well, I got you here.
Yes, sir.
Biggest thing I like about your idea is the comment idea. A lot of people don't want to get up and talk, but they would give us our comment, and that would be a good thing to read from people in your district, anyone's district, to see what those comments were. Because a lot of people are intimidated to get up and speak. Well, that doesn't mean their voice shouldn't be heard. If we do this, you're letting everybody speak or speak to us. Absolutely. I think it's a wonderful idea.
Okay, Commissioner Massachusetts first, and then we'll come down the line.
So is this in conjunction with a decision that was already made the other night?
Now, this is an alternative to prevent this, having 100 people get up and speak.
On number 6, it says they do not advise that we do that, allowing people to comment on the website. Because, I mean, just like, okay,
Right,
Biff,
you run into
Biff,
Facebook
can you
stuff.
go on the website and comment?
I wouldn't see any need to it since I'm on the committee.
Yeah, but I mean.
Be on
I'm
another
saying,
meeting, I guess you
You
could.
gotta have a computer, you gotta have a cell phone.
Or they could go by the mayor's office. You have to have an alternative way.
Yeah.
If somebody didn't have.
Well, you wouldn't
A lot
have
of
to
the
put the
elderly-
comments up on the website, would you? You could just get back to us
No,
what the
they would
comments
just go
were.
to us.
It's not going on a website, it
No,
would just be coming to us for us
It
to
would go
read.
in a spreadsheet for us for the meeting.
Not something out for the public to read, like Facebook. If it's like Facebook, I'm out.
Yeah, but a lot of the elderly are not gonna have, I mean, Virgil's got a flip phone.
Yeah, but if we're reading it, that's fine, but
Yeah,
not
but
the
the elderly not
Facebook
gonna,
deal.
if, they're not gonna come speak anyway, so at least we have an opportunity for somebody.
I think if we did both, fine, but I don't think it should just be the only thing.
No, we're saying both.
Yeah.
No, we're saying
That's
both.
not what I,
Yeah.
no, I meant that as an option to allow more people to speak
Right.
without letting 100 people get up there and speak.
Right.
You gotta have some kind of common sense and guidelines.
Okay.
No, I agree. I mean, I think, all opportunities that we can provide folks to speak, the better, you know. I was just wanting to make sure that we didn't, we weren't gonna do away with giving everybody the opportunity to speak at the meeting if they just walk in the door and they fill out the form and they line up and speak for or against their topic. I just wanted to be sure that we didn't X that out because I think that's just extremely important. So,
Are you complete? I'm sorry.
I'm done. Thank you, Commissioner.
I'm trying to get this all in my head so I know how to write it up for the bylaws. And so after, I'm like Julie, after driving home, I thought, oh Lord, what have we done? But the other thing might want to consider, and we can play along with this and see how it goes, but just say after 20 minutes, the chairperson, be it of a committee or the commission, after a certain amount of time, doesn't have to be, it can be 15, it can be 20, it can be 30, say, does anybody have any other comments that have not been given? And that way, you don't have the same thing over and over and over again. So just something else to think about.
Commissioner Yaki, after me being here 9 going on 10 years, how many times have we sat in a place and had basically they're still talking, but they're saying the same thing over and over, and it lasts 2 hours?
Yeah, and
Now, if it's something relevant new, that's one thing, but to sit and
Exactly.
just plot the same stuff.
And sometimes you do get information. I mean, we
Sometimes
see
you do.
this at zoning, but if it's just the same thing, you know, I don't want it because I'm close to it and it's over and over and over again, that the chairperson has the authority to say, unless you've got something new, you know, to bring, we'd like to end the session. So I'll just throw that out there.
Mr. Chairman,
Okay.
may I ask you a question? First of all, the statute that was passed didn't give us ample time to put any of this conversation in place because it passed in June and made effective July 1st.
We've got time to still
So
study.
we have time now, but we didn't when we were noticed this. And that's
Correct.
what we had talked about last month, putting these guidelines together. So having said that, I think what we adopted last week was our temporary guidelines. They are not the final guidelines. So what we want to do is have, because it needs to go into our bylaws, and so we need to have a discussion. And so we need to figure out how we want to proceed with this, using options like Julie has had, or Commissioner Sanders had, and comments from Commissioner Anderson, and now everybody, so that we all have the chance to weigh in on this. So how do you think is the best way to proceed to get us to that bylaw revision process
It needs to be here.
in the committee?
Yes.
Y'all need to tell me what to write, and I'll write it, and I like both. I think all avenues that you can have, the better off you are.
Yeah.
Okay, I think Mr. Strasser is next. You want to comment, and you come step up, and then, Commissioner.
Tracy Strassner, I applaud the opportunity for you guys to listen to public comment. In sitting in the meeting the other night when you guys were talking about it, is you need to put the same structure in place for public hearings. Because then if you're having a public hearing where people are showing up to make comment, because it sounds like that's different, at least the rules are the same and it's similar for people who are showing up to talk. I don't know if that's covered or not, but it sounds like you want to make that look the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got a question. The whole night we were there, nobody said temporary. It was never mentioned, it was never talked about. That was talked about that we were trying to make a plan. We debated it for 30 minutes. We had some nice conversation back and forth, and I felt like we settled on something that benefited the people of this county. And all I hear is we don't want to hear people talk over and over about the same thing. Well, guess what? They're citizens. They have the right to talk. And the thing about it is I get tired of coming up here, and I was not even going to talk tonight. I was going to let y'all have your time. But the thing is this is what you're doing. You're trying to find ways to stifle the people of this county and being able to talk. If you can't give them time, don't run for the damn office. At the end of the day, give them their ability to talk. They're passionate about these items. If they take their time out of their busy day, whether it's a farm or whether they're taking care of their kids, and they come up here to talk for 3 minutes, let them talk. And if you want to stifle that, please vote for it. Because the thing is just like I said at the last one, I hope all this stuff gets on the record, and I hope you all are held accountable for this. I just go home and I talk to constituents over and over about how they feel like their voices are not being heard. And for once, I felt like, hey, the commission agreed that we're going to let people talk until they get what they're out, or what they want to say out. And so at the end of the day, I'm just glad we're getting to vote on this. And if you want to bring it back up and we want to go back over it, great, we'll talk about it. But at the end of the day, we need to do more of letting the people get involved in our process. More.
Commissioner
Not
Hooker, I think
less.
one of the things that Julie brought up, Commissioner Sanders brought up, is that comment line would be, because there's a lot of people that don't want to get up and talk to
No,
us.
I'm fine
But
with
it would be
that.
great to
If
read
it's
the
as long as
comments.
it's in conjunction and on top
And
of.
not on a
what we're-
website like Facebook, just coming to us, it would be really nice, because I think we might find a lot more people are engaged with us that way, where they don't have to come up and speak.
Yeah,
And we
I'm
do need to
completely
hear or
fine with
read what they have to
additional,
say.
but where I have heartburn is people coming up here and going, well, you know, if they're saying the same thing over and over, the chairman can just go, oh, we're gonna stop, we're not gonna talk. Because then what it ends up being is it being subjective based on who's the chairman. If they wanna hear that, if they're for that particular thing, then they can cut off comment early. If they're for it and they're talking for it, then they can just let them talk forever. Let's take the subjectiveness out of it and let's let the people talk. Let's listen to them. I mean, heck, we've had some very controversial topics and we've never gone over 30 minutes. I can give people 30 minutes. Lord, I'll give them an hour if they need to. But at the end of the day, let's not try to stifle the people. Let's let them talk. Let's give them more time. But again, you know, y'all do what you need.
This was definitely in conjunction with the other to be able to fill out a form to go speak. But I also want to say is when you get too many people talking, you lose a lot of order in a meeting, and this is public government.
And you've got to have some order in your government meeting. It doesn't mean that people don't have a voice. But if you whenever we've had some meetings with 100, 150 people in the crowd, and they all wanted to talk. And sometimes they get a little out of hand, they start cussing, they start getting out of hand, and this is the whole reason the state has pushed us to have an organization. Like Commissioner Vick said, we were kind of pushed to do it really quick, kind of do it. And I feel like a lot of us felt like we just kind of did what we had to do to get done that night. And in committee, we need to discuss it more. Now, if everybody wants to vote, to let it stay the way it is, so be it. I just thought I would throw out some other ideas so that there would be another avenue to comment so that everybody felt like they had a voice and it could go to the commissioners and it not be a public circus, because it can turn into that. So, anyway.
Now, there's gonna be changes in the open meetings, okay, Commissioner Thomas?
I'm not here to debate it one way or the other. I think we agreed as a commission to let them 3 minutes, was each person 3 minutes, no matter how many it was. Josh, can we do something on the TVs to time that? Because people need to see what they've got, because they might want to get to a certain comment that they want to make. And if they've only got 3 minutes, then.
That's a good point.
If we, or maybe we need to buy a clock or a timer to sit on in front of the table or something so they can see it. That would be my suggestion.
That's a very good point. That's a really good point.
Okay, Commissioner Madden.
Yeah, Commissioner Thomas stole my idea. That was a good idea. I think that we need to still allow everybody, my vote is to allow everybody that wants to speak the opportunity to speak. I mean, if we look in this room tonight, it's not full. I mean, and even the times that we've had the controversial topics, the room over there, it wasn't necessarily full of folks that wanted to talk. I really don't think that it's going to be a big issue. I think we're putting in our minds that we're living in Davidson County and the entire city of Nashville is coming to our meetings. That's just not the case. So for the record, I do hope that y'all make the decision that we allow anybody that wants to come to the meeting the opportunity to speak for 3 minutes. And like the commissioner just mentioned, have a visible clock up there for the 3 minutes. And to Commissioner Sanders' comment, I agree things could get out of hand, but I believe that that's the chairman's job, and I think that the mayor does a good job of being the chairman of these meetings. He keeps order. But I think that we can definitely handle this as long as we put the parameters in place to govern it. But I really, with all my heart, feel that we cannot, just like Commissioner Hooker just mentioned, we cannot silence the folks that want to come talk. Last thing I'll say is, I know what some of you meant in regards to the redundancy of the comments, but, sometimes people just want to know that their voice is heard. And if they vote for me and they want to come to a meeting to have their voice heard, it would hurt my feelings to know that they're not able to speak. So I urge you to make the right decision, what I feel like is the right decision. But to Commissioner Sanders, I do appreciate you for bringing that extra opportunity to the table as well. So thank you for the time.
Chairman, I think we're all on the same track here. And I think there is no one on this commission that is trying to stifle any comment. There's no one trying to do anything that tamps down the right for citizens to address and redress their government. That's what we're intended to do. But I do think we have a conflicting number of ideas and concepts, and operating under the temporary agreements that we had last month is fine to continue on. But I think we need to have a bylaws committee meeting, a subcommittee. We need to form a committee to put this into our bylaws so that then we have a proper method for going forward. I mean, we didn't even follow it tonight. We didn't have our public comment here tonight, and we should have in there. So that would be my suggestion. I would make that the form of a motion, that we form a committee to study this bylaw, to get input from everybody so that we have a proper path to move forward. And that's my request there.
It needs to be from.
I'm thinking about forming these subcommittees, y'all. Why can't this committee just do it? Let's do it, us with whoever.
Well, we can meet, and anybody wants to come,
Yeah.
then let them come.
That's fine. We want to have a
Just
special
have it open.
meeting, and we have it
I
open.
mean,
and
I just
everybody-
hate forming these subcommittees and forming these different little things, and we've already got committees, let's use them.
Why don't we just rock along with what we got for 6
That's
months?
right. Well, we
6
tried.
months and just see where we are.
We'll
gotta
go
put it in
month
the
to month. I don't
bylaws.
wanna wait 6
No, I don't
months.
want 6.
No, we need to try to get this tamped down, and Well,
And-
things may
and
come up
places-
as best we
How
can.
long do you think it'd take for us to maybe get something like that running on the website, Josh? Well, let's go 30 days and let's revisit it in a month and then we'll go.
Or
from there.
90, maybe you need
What's
to
our
go.
objective? What is our
To
objective?
where we get the comment thing up and all that, he's talking about how long it takes.
Okay,
the
but what's our
website.
objective with this process? What are we trying to achieve? Are we trying to achieve a bylaw change? Are we trying to, I mean.
I
we
think
to
we'll
have-
have to eventually have it in our bylaws because, but I don't think we need to do it in like today in our bylaws because we might want to change something like Judy
I
said.
agree with
How
that.
long
Yes,
do you think, how long do you think?
I think, we should do maybe 90.
It's
Oh.
other stuff I gotta do.
Right.
This is just one of the little pieces that I'd like to get in there when we make the changes.
We wanna do 90
Well,
days,
make them
60
all.
days, what we think?
Why don't y'all, as that committee, set up the rules, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, what we talked about the other night, what Julie's mentioned, and then next month we can look at that, add to it, take away from it, and then once everybody agrees, then y'all send it to the commission for a full vote, and it goes in the book, you know.
Y'all want to do 60 days, give us plenty of time, so
Now,
30?
let's go 30 to 30.
All right, 30,
If we
30 's
do it
fine. I'm
30,
good.
let's do it in 30. There's no sense going 60,
I'm
we
sure
do it in 30.
You'll probably have to send it to legal, and they'll have to look at it, make sure. it's
Right,
correct
and they gotta
all
send it
that.
back and we'll have to look at it.
Who's gonna do it?
I just make a suggestion, that somebody who can write, I don't mean write, but prose. Write up what it is that we did last time in the commission and whatever else you wanna put in there, so that you've got something written for everybody to see
Yeah.
at the next meeting.
Well, county mayor's sick and gone, but we can check with him
Yeah, we'll
and,
go from there.
because yes.
Well, what we did will be in the minutes.
And
Yeah,
get
but
some
it needs to be a
feedback
little bit different.
Right,
Right.
I understand.
and then go from there. But we'll take anything that y'all want to submit,
Sure.
and
But we could
I mean,
add
I don't
Julie's
mind
ideal
writing
and add the
what we
timer.
did And shoveling it through Suzanne and let her look at it and.
Yeah.
yeah, it's.
You're right, it's here.
Yeah.
It just needs to be put in the rule book, because once we're gone,
Right.
it's still gonna be in the rules, and if we're the only ones to remember it, I don't know what.
Hey, you remember back in 2023?
It'd be your interpretation of mine.
Right.
Yeah. And you probably need to get with Josh and see about the
Okay,
website.
so what are we doing?
Is that all right for everybody?
Yeah, well, I don't know what we're doing. Tell me,
Well-
somebody explain to me what we're doing.
You want me to get with.
If that's what
how
you, I don't
like how
know.
it should be written prose wise for the bylaws, get with Josh and what Julie wants, and let Suzanne clean us all up.
And bring it back
Bring it
here.
back to us.
Bring it back
Yeah,
30
that
days.
work. That's not fair, doesn't it?
Okay, that's good.
Is that all right for everybody on the committee?
And anybody that has an issue or has a suggestion, send it to Suzanne or send it to you.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so I might decide we want to do a different way and I send you my suggestion, and then we got
I would
all.
send it
the-
to the county mayor,
Okay,
Right, mayor's
Okay.
office.
okay,
and then they'll bring it all together.
okay.
That'll work.
You don't
Any
have to
other-
come back
Any other
here.
discussion, any other questions? Is everybody satisfied with that? But we'll keep working on it from month to month.
Right.
Sure.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so any other questions concerning this issue? It is important, very important. Guidelines for open meetings, I mean, there's a lot can go on in that, in open meetings. And, Commissioner Vick, we're letting everybody talk here. I've not ever refused anybody the right to talk. I ain't dropped the gavel and told somebody couldn't talk either. Now, there may come a time when it happens, but it hadn't
I
happened
would
yet.
say, Mr. Chairman, in 5 years, you have never stopped conversations.
I've seen it too.
Okay. Okay, I guess we'll continue with that. What's the proposal? We're just gonna, we'll continue gathering information for 30 days?
Yep.
Is that okay with everybody? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, any announcements? I know there's several. We already talked about the county fair.
Fair.
It's still going on, and so we need to attend it if we can. Any other announcements? Of course, we got the other meeting. Suzanne, you want to remind everybody of that, maybe by signing up or not, going to the, the Uncle Nearest and the other,
Oh, yes, Tanya's event, if you haven't let us know, she's pretty much turning the head count, but we can still, just let us know if you have changed your plans and you can attend the lunch or the afternoon, tour in Uncle Nearest.
It was at July 27th.
27.
Yeah.
It's on Thursday, I
Yeah.
believe.
She said there's almost 100 people coming. So
Wow.
she's got a lot of folks.
Well, I tried to email you back. I don't know what's wrong. My email wouldn't respond, but I did send Tanya a message.
Okay, any other announcements? So if you haven't done that, make sure you get your name in there if you're going. Any other announcements? Okay, is it?
Really?
Take a motion to adjourn?
Adjourn.
Okay,